Hey there guys, this is Dr. Dane from Mother Goose Chiropractic, your friendly neighborhood pediatric chiropractor. I wanted to hop on real quick and talk about one of the most common conditions that people bring their children to us for, and that's digestive issues. So I want to answer, how can neurologically focused pediatric chiropractic help with digestion and also with regularity, constipation as well, because we see a lot of kiddos that are backed up that aren't eliminating properly, and we have pretty much 100% success rate with those cases. So we love to be able to help, but let me explain why, because that's kind of a burning question, right? When people think chiropractic, they think adults, back and neck pain, sports injuries, that kind of stuff. But we're a pediatric focused office, and digestive issues are one of the primary reasons, I would say top three, that moms and dads bring their kiddos in to get checked and to get adjusted. So really, to start at the start, neurologically focused office, we're all about the brain and the spine and the nervous system. So we look at the brain, spine, and nervous system as an organ system. And if there's any stress and tension affecting the integrity of that system, other body systems don't work as well. The spine's basically a big fuse box. It's a big circuit breaker. So if there's an area where the nerves are irritated or something isn't moving properly, and those are the nerves that go to the heart or the lungs or the stomach or the intestines, you're gonna have that system not functioning as effectively. You're gonna have communication breakdown. So with digestion, honestly, what we see, the first manifestation is in colicky, refluxy, constipated babies. So where does that come from? Honestly, the first subluxation, the first trauma that we see in children is usually the birth process. So we're all about educating and making sure that we get littles checked after birth, because doctors, OBs, and midwives, and whoever it is, they do whatever they need to do to get baby out. But a lot of times, welcome to the world, that puts a lot of stress and tension on a developing spine and nervous system, especially the delicate upper neck. So if this area is distorted, damaged, or injured and misaligned, it puts a lot of pressure on the nerves in the upper neck. So why is that a problem? Well, today with the internet, some of you moms and dads might have heard of a nerve called the vagus nerve. It is the vagus. It starts up here in the upper neck and it goes all the way down the esophagus, the stomach, into the intestines. So it's really, really critical when it comes to digestion and also regularity to make sure your kiddo is going number 2 on the regular. So circuit breaker, right? If there's stress and tension here and that vagus nerve is affected, you can have reflux. So in babies, difficult birth process, nerve irritation, brain and the stomach and the esophagus aren't talking as effectively. I just ate. Refluxing, a lot, pervasively, constantly, not holding food down. That's a sign of nerve irritation. That's a sign that your child could benefit from pediatric chiropractic, and really, they need to have their delicate spine and nervous system assessed, and if need be, adjusted. So in babies, that's what we see: colic, reflux, constipation. Because again, nerve irritation, stomach, gassy, just means those two systems aren't communicating as effectively as they should be, and that's when symptoms crop up. Kiddos get a little older. We see lots of toddlers and 5, 6-year-olds, 7-year-olds sometimes. Constipation. We come in and mom and dad say, yeah, they're only going once or twice a week, and it's uncomfortable. And then you get that sort of fear aversion where going to the toilet becomes this whole negative ritual, and then there's infighting in the family, and it becomes this big dramatic thing. So the other thing that we see too is misalignment in kiddos that are older, that are running around in the playground, learning to walk, motor milestones, running, jumping, twisting, turning, roughhousing with their siblings, that kind of stuff. You can also have misalignments in the pelvis. If the pelvis is misaligned, there are a lot of nerves down there that also go to the large intestines and the colon. And the job of the large intestines and the colon is to kind of keep things moving and out. But again, if the nerves in the pelvis and in the lower back are irritated, and again, the brain and the nervous system aren't communicating with that large intestine as effectively, you don't have proper movement. You're not staying regular. So that's how we can help, with constipation. When it comes to digestive issues too, things like, tummy upsets or, nervous stomach, because, my tummy hurts, that kind of stuff, even food allergies. Getting that nervous system checked and adjusted, it really helps those systems function more effectively. It also helps bring down inflammation. If you've tried cleaning up your kiddo's diet and you've gone really crisp, really clean, gotten rid of the dyes and the seed oils and organic or keto or goat's milk or whatever it is, but they're still having issues, that missing piece of the puzzle could very likely be that nerve supply to the gut, to the GI tract, to the stomach. So when we get kiddos assessed, and we take a look, we usually find a lot of irritation in the mid-back, in the thoracic spine, and those are the nerves that go to the stomach itself. So if it's upset stomachs, indigestion, my tummy hurts, and you tried elimination diets, you tried all the dietary stuff, again, if you go up the chain and troubleshoot that brain and nervous system, usually we can find that missing piece of the puzzle. Then we get those areas checked and adjusted. It takes the pressure off the nerves, and the brain says, whoa, okay, talking to the stomach more effectively, talking to the GI and the gut and the intestines more effectively. Regularity, better digestion, less colic and reflux in the littles. So we see that all the time. Sometimes even people bring in kids for another issue, like a sports injury or behavioral issue or something like that. And then after a couple of weeks of care, they say, you know what? They're eating salad. They tried green beans the other day. They hate green beans. The other cool thing about getting a child's nervous system checked and adjusted is it takes a stressed, irritated system, locked in, and it opens it up. It releases that stress, and it creates all this bandwidth for adaptation. So for a kiddo that's trying new foods for the first time, if their nervous system is really revved up and irritated, they got this narrow bandwidth where if you change the taste or the texture, I don't like it, I don't want it. So the other awesome thing is when we start getting a child checked and adjusted and we help that nervous system calm and connect, it opens up all that bandwidth for trying new foods, new tastes, so it's not a war every time you go to the dinner table. And that's another thing that parents tell us. They don't usually mention it on the front end, but again, weeks or months later, they say, oh my gosh, you know what? They're not complaining when we pull out the Brussels sprouts, or they asked for a side salad when we were at the restaurant last week. Oh my gosh, does that have anything to do with this? And absolutely it does, because a calm, connected nervous system in a child makes everything better. Food choices, digestion, regularity, all that stuff. So if you tried everything, if you tried, picky eaters, if you tried reward charts, and if constipated kiddos, if you tried, the flaxseed and the bran and the Miralax and all that stuff, or your colicky baby, if pediatrician said, hey, just get them some Prilosec and they'll be fine. If you've tried everything and there's still something off, there's still something not working, symptoms are warning signs. So I guarantee your child would benefit from having their spine and nervous system checked, and if need be, safely, gently, effectively adjusted, so we can get that pressure off the nervous system and they can switch right back to health, healing, growth and development, happy tummies, no constipation, getting your child back in the saddle as healthy as possible. It's what we love to do. If you found this helpful and you're curious, we're happy to answer any additional questions, and we would love to be able to help.